You were just listening to an NBC News special report on the Supreme Court's historic ruling in former President Donald Trump's presidential immunity case. Justices said for the first time, former presidents can be shielded from some prosecution for at least some of what they do in the Oval Office. Welcome to 11 Alive News Midday. I'm Cheryl Preheim. The High Court's decision sends former President Trump's federal election interference case back to the lower courts to decide how this ruling now applies. And it's now unlikely the former president will have to face trial before November. Ariana Manise with our 11 Alive political team joining us live now with more. So Ariana, big question here is, what does this decision from the Supreme Court mean for the case against Mr. Trump in Fulton County?
Yeah, well, Cheryl, the Supreme Court's highly anticipated ruling has major implications on the multiple legal battles that former President Trump is facing, especially here in Fulton County, the charges that he's facing for allegedly interfering in Georgia's 2020 presidential election results. That's because back in January, former President Trump's legal team, they made a similar immunity argument to Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, claiming and writing in a motion that the president's absolute immunity shields him from criminal prosecution. So far, Judge Scott McAfee has not ruled on this motion. Former Gwinnett County DA Danny Porter, he says that he believes the judge is waiting to see how the justices of the Supreme Court decide the federal immunity case that they just ruled on. Take a listen.
We're almost in unknown territory. I mean, Trump's lawyer is asserting basically the issue that all presidents have total immunity from prosecution.
Now the verdict is out on exactly how this Supreme Court ruling will weigh on the Fulton County case, but it is important to note that the Georgia Court of Appeals, they put a stay on the Fulton County election interference case as we continue to wait for them to review any appeals that the former President Trump's team recently filed. One specifically was dealing with whether Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis can stay on this case. So as of right now, nothing is happening in regard to the Fulton County case. But we also spoke to DeKalb County former DA Robert James, and he says that the case in Fulton County may be able to remain in place depending on how the Fulton County DA's office restructures their case, depending on the Supreme Court's ruling. Reporting live from Fulton County, I'm Ariana Manise for 11 Alive. Back to you.
Ariana, thanks.